The Wyoming sun scorched the prairie, turning the once lush grass into brittle stalks that crunched underfoot like bones. Jacob Thornton, a weathered rancher of 35, wiped sweat from his brow, squinting across his parched land. The drought had tightened its grip, draining his well and thinning his cattle. His modest house, its unpainted boards silvered by time, stood alone beside a simple barn. 3 years had passed since his wife, Martha, died of fever, leaving Jacob to face the silence of the frontier with only the lowing of cattle and the cry of distant hawks for company. At night, by the flicker of an oil lamp, Jacob wrote a letter to a matrimonial agency in St. Louis. His words were plain, practical, seeking a hard-working woman of good character to join me as wife on my Wyoming ranch. She need not be young or comely, only sensible and quiet. I offer a solid roof, fair treatment, and no violence. He wanted a partner to share the chores, not a romance to stir his buried heart. Beautiful women, he knew from the nearby town of Willow Creek, brought trouble, jealousy, gossip, complications. He needed simplicity to survive another brutal winter. The next day, he rode 15 miles to town, posted the letter, and ignored the whispers that followed him. The townsfolk called him the hermit now, their once friendly neighbor turned inward by grief. A man alone was suspect in Willow Creek, but a man seeking a mail-order bride was equally questionable. Let them judge, Jacob thought. Out here, their opinions mattered less than dust. 6 weeks later, a telegram arrived, bride arriving Tuesday, noon. Meet at station, agency. Tuesday dawned merciless, the sun fierce as Jacob hitched his wagon and rode to town in his best clothes, a clean shirt, dark trousers, and the jacket he'd worn to Martha's funeral. Willow Creek buzzed with anticipation. The arrival of a stranger, especially a woman, was rare entertainment. Mrs. Henderson and her daughter stood in their Sunday best, the Garrison brothers shared a flask, and Reverend Collins clutched his Bible, all waiting by the station platform. The train hissed into Willow Creek, disgorging passengers, salesmen, a family, an elderly woman. Jacob scanned each face, expecting the plain, sturdy woman he'd described. Then she appeared, framed in the passenger car doorway, and the crowd fell silent. Emma Foster was young, with autumn wheat hair pinned beneath a simple hat and sage honey eyes that needed no adornment. Her modest dress couldn't hide her graceful figure or delicate features. She was no plain bride, she was a vision that stopped Jacob's heart. Miss Foster, he managed, stepping forward. Emma Foster, she said, her voice soft but steady. You must be Mr. Thornton. He nodded, aware of the crowd's murmurs. She's marrying the hermit, Mrs. Henderson hissed. Must be running from something, a Garrison brother added. Emma's chin lifted slightly, ignoring them, as Jacob took her trunk. Their hands brushed, and he jerked back as if burned. The walk to the wagon felt endless under the town's scrutiny. As they rode to the ranch, Emma sat silent, her hat shading her face. It's not what you expected, Jacob said, gesturing at the barren prairie. Expectations are a luxury I can't afford, she replied, her tone neutral but heavy with meaning. The ranch appeared over a rise, house, barn, chicken coop, all dwarfed by the vast landscape. Emma surveyed it without comment, her expression unreadable. Inside, Jacob showed her the sparse main room and her private chamber, a small space with a narrow bed and washstand. It's small, but it's yours, he said. It's fine, she replied, already assessing the well, the chickens, the barren garden. She moved with quiet efficiency, cooking supper from meager supplies. They ate in silence, the empty chair across from Jacob now filled but unsettling. She was too young, too beautiful, everything he'd tried to avoid. We should discuss expectations, he said after supper. This is a business arrangement. You'll have your room, I'll have mine. We'll share the work, but I won't expect more. I understand, Emma said. You need a partner, not a wife in the true sense. That suits me. Relief mixed with an unexpected pang of disappointment. The work's hard, he warned. And the town, they'll talk. People always do, she said, a bitter edge to her voice. Beauty is its own curse, Mr. Thornton. Jacob, he corrected impulsively. If we're partners, call me Jacob. Good night, Jacob, she said, retiring to her room. Alone, he sat by the lamp, listening to her settle in. The house felt alive with her presence, but it stirred fears he'd long suppressed. He'd wanted plainness to avoid trouble. Instead, he'd gotten Emma, and with her, a storm he hadn't anticipated. The drought worsened over the weeks, the well yielding muddy water, the cattle growing gaunt. Emma adapted to ranch life with quiet strength, rising before dawn to cook, hauling water, tending chickens. Jacob worked the fences and moved the herd, their days passing in a rhythm of shared labor. But the town's gossip followed them on weekly supply runs. A woman like that with Thornton. Trouble's coming, Mrs. Henderson declared. One evening, Jacob spotted wolf tracks near the pasture. They're getting bold, he told Emma over supper. We'll need to keep watch. I can shoot, she said, surprising him. My father taught me. A woman alone needs to know how to protect herself. That night, they took turns on the porch, rifles ready. At dawn, 3 wolves attacked the cattle pen. Emma's shot was clean, felling one. Jacob's wounded another, and the third fled. Where'd you learn to shoot like that? He asked, examining the dead wolf. When you have something worth protecting, you learn, she said, turning away. Her competence shifted something in Jacob. She wasn't just beautiful, she was capable, fierce. When the well failed, Emma suggested digging a new one near stunted cottonwoods. Trees survive here, she said. Water runs deep. Skeptical but desperate, Jacob agreed. They dug for hours, blisters forming, until they hit damp soil at 6 feet. Emma's triumphant laugh echoed in the dusk. How'd you know? Jacob asked. My grandfather had a knack for water, she said. He taught me to read the land. The moment lingered, their eyes meeting under starlight. Jacob felt a pull, quickly broken by a coyote's yip. They returned to the house, the air between them charged with unspoken tension. A September storm broke the drought, rain hammering the roof. Emma ran into the downpour, laughing, her dress clinging to her as she spun. Jacob called her inside, wrapping a blanket around her shoulders. Their closeness crackled like the lightning outside, and when she whispered his name, he nearly kissed her. Thunder broke the spell, and she retreated to change. By the fire, Emma shared her past. I was engaged to Charles Whitman, a wealthy man in Missouri. My father owed him $20,000 in gambling debts. Whitman wanted me as payment, a trophy, not a wife. I overheard him call me a prize to be broken. So I ran, answering your ad because you wanted someone plain. I thought you'd be different. You're not safe, Jacob admitted, pacing. Every day, I fight wanting you. I'm no better than him. You're nothing like him, she said, stepping close. You've treated me as a partner. Partners don't feel this, he said, cupping her face. They kissed, a dam breaking, but reality loomed. This changes everything, he said. Or nothing, Emma countered. We can go back. But they couldn't. Desire and fear warred in their glances, their accidental touches. The town noticed, their gossip growing bolder. The hermits tamed, Tom Garrison sneered. Emma bore it with dignity, but Jacob saw the toll in her trembling hands. Then Charles Whitman arrived. He rode up on a sleek thoroughbred, his suit worth more than Jacob's ranch. You have something of mine, Whitman said, eyeing the house. Emma, she's my wife, Jacob said, hammer in hand. No marriage certificate, Whitman sneered, producing a contract. Her father's debt makes her mine. $20,000. Emma emerged, dropping her bucket at the sight of him. You have no right, she said, trembling. The law says otherwise, Whitman replied. I'll be back with the sheriff. After he left, Emma sank to her knees. I'll leave tonight. He'll destroy you. No, Jacob said, pulling her close. I've hidden behind grief too long. You made me want to live again. I won't let him take you. They rode to town, where Whitman waited with Sheriff Morrison and Judge Carter. He's got a legal claim, the judge said. Unless you can prove otherwise. How much to clear the debt? Jacob asked. $25,000, Whitman said. The crowd gasped. I'll give you the ranch, Jacob said. Emma protested, but he silenced her. You're worth more. Not enough, Whitman said. But I'll settle this another way. A duel. Noon tomorrow, Main Street. Jacob. No, Emma whispered. He's killed 7 men. But Jacob's mind was made up. That night, Emma paced, begging for another way. I love you, she said, tears falling. I should have said it sooner. Tell me tomorrow, he replied, kissing her fiercely. After, at dawn, they married quietly with Reverend Collins, securing Emma's freedom legally. By noon, Main Street was packed, the crowd buzzing. Whitman stood confident in black, his hand poised to draw. Jacob faced him, heart pounding, Emma's fierce gaze giving him strength. Sheriff Morrison dropped the handkerchief. Whitman drew like lightning, his shot grazing Jacob's ear as Jacob sidestepped, a trick learned from dodging bulls. Jacob's shot hit Whitman's shoulder, dropping him. Kill me, Whitman gasped. No, Jacob said, holstering his gun. Leave, and never come near her again. He showed the marriage certificate. Her debt's void. The crowd cheered as Whitman slunk away, defeated. Emma ran to Jacob, sobbing. "You could have died, but I didn't," he said, holding her. "Now we build a future." Back at the ranch, life bloomed. The drought broke, the garden thrived, and neighbors visited, drawn by Jacob's courage. Emma placed wildflowers on Martha's grave, honoring the past while embracing the present. The town's gossip softened into respect. Whitman fled east, his influence broken. Winter came, blanketing the prairie in snow. Jacob and Emma planned for spring, more cattle, a bigger garden, perhaps children. "No more mail-order brides," Emma teased. "Our daughters will choose their own paths." Inside their warm house, they held each other close, no longer in separate rooms. The ranch, once a monument to loss, was now a home filled with love. Jacob had wanted a plain bride but found Emma, beautiful, brave, and exactly what he needed. Together, they faced the future, hand in hand, proving that the harshest lands could nurture the deepest love.